we all know our favorite CEO of our favorite, mega corporate empire in America, Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg,
That's
our
right.
favorite person.
The big Zuck, Daddy Zuck.
Well, recently, he gave this 2-hour-long demo on what he's now calling the metaverse.
Oh, yeah.
And he's renamed his company, Facebook, he's renamed it to Meta.
It's giving gamer.
He said that he wanted to reorient the company to be more than just a social media platform. So Facebook's still going to exist. Instagram's still going to exist, but he's trying to build the metaverse.
Oh, don't worry. It's already an electioneering platform.
The algorithm's already been built to ensure that we'll get the farthest right candidates possible.
It's already an electioneering platform, a genocide platform,
Yeah, but apparently he's been working with a company called Oculus, which they make.
Facebook owns Oculus.
Oh, do they
Yeah.
own Oculus?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense. They own Oculus, which is a company that makes virtual reality gaming stuff.
The Oculus Rift.
Right. They're working with Oculus to make, I don't really know, this virtual reality office space kind of thing.
The way they were describing it, one, incredibly cringy the whole time. The video looks like it was put together on a lunch break.
Yeah, exactly.
It's got porn level acting right there.
Yeah.
Like something you'd see in Bang Bros.
I mean, but to be fair, we can't expect more out of Mark Zuckerberg because that dude literally is no human being.
That's true. He already has to act to just pass every day in human society.
Yeah,
so
he is a creature. He doesn't know how humans interact with each other.
So when you throw 2 layers of acting on top of that, things get kind of muffled.
He's so removed from real interaction with real people that he made a virtual space to interact with other people.
literally, because that's what this is all about. He's talking about using the headsets as he said something work from home isn't going away. You know what I mean? And I would hope work from home isn't going away because it's good for a lot of people.
Yeah.
As long as they aren't getting pay cuts for it. You know what I mean?
Naturally.
You know what I mean? But anyway, you want to bring the office to the home and you put on this virtual reality headset and you're literally in the office with people. But it's dog, if you have ever put a VR headset on, that shit hella fun. Blade and sorcery going crazy.
Yeah.
Doesn't look real.
No, never.
Does not look real. Your average person will get sick.
Yeah, you're not immersed. You get motion sickness very easily.
Exactly.
It doesn't work.
It doesn't
You get
work
a headache
that
after
greatly.
30 minutes.
You look at your hands and the whole thing just falls apart.
Yeah.
Because you can't fucking move them.
Yeah.
Right? But anyways, that's not even scratching the surface of the weirdest part about this, right? That's just virtual reality office space. Okay. Anybody could have thought of that. But then he starts talking about projecting augmented reality holograms of furniture and shit into your house. What the fuck?
Bro, it just sounds like a way to sell people what is basically an NFT, but then just not give them a real object. You think that the couch is there and you pay an actual amount for a couch, but you don't get it. You just
IKEA's
see
gonna
it.
start selling NFTs.
Yeah, exactly. It's a bunch of nonsense.
Oh, yeah.
It's all and conservatives got so mad when mask requirements became a thing because they're it takes away the human interaction, it takes away the emotion. You can't see their mouth and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Not a peep from them about this.
Facts. What about the implications of a company being oh, you're gonna work from home, you better buy the augmented reality fucking company desk.
Right.
The augmented reality company plant in the background.
Straight up, this just sounds like another way for companies to force their employees to work longer hours with less pay.
Oh, yeah,
Because
literally.
well, you're at home in a virtual reality space. Do you really need to take a bathroom break? Why is it taking you 10 minutes to go to the bathroom?
Exactly. I literally know how long you're going to the bathroom. Oh, your kid walked in? This is time off task.
Oh, your headset hasn't moved in the last 20 minutes. What's going on?
Yeah, I've noticed that your fingers, while they've been moving, they haven't been moving to the keys on the keyboard because I can track everything you're fucking doing.
Yes.
So that it works in the virtual reality space.
Yeah, because mind you, on these virtual reality headsets, not only is there an internal a screen for you to see everything, but there's cameras that can see the outside of your area.
Yes.
Oh, I just bumped the mic. So they can see the outside of your area, so it can set up the virtual reality space around you. So not only can it do that, but can also track every single movement you make.
Facts.
And it has to for it to work.
It's
but
going to have to. It's going to have literally a full body tractor. Oh, you're bricked up at work? What's that about?
like for leisure, these devices are really cool. But
They're
for
fun.
work, this is terrifying.
It's oh my God, it's horrible. He keeps talking about projecting these virtual reality things into real life. At one point, this one girl mentioned oh, this AR artist is hiding QR codes around the city, and you can go and look at their art if you scan the QR code. But I better tip him so that it lasts longer. Just sounds fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Just put some graffiti up.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah,
come on.
just put regular graffiti up.
Just tag the fucking wall. Put some street art up if you want it to be legal. Why don't we actually focus on people's real, like, reality, their material realities, instead of their virtual realities?
Oh, no, no. See, we're building another reality on top of the reality that's already piss poor. And, like, we didn't even mention that during this, like, demo thing, bro had Baby Ray's on a bookshelf behind him. Like, as like a decoration, he had a thing of Baby Ray's barbecue sauce.
It's like Baby Ray's next to a bunch of fake books. Because you know none of those books are real. They're way too pastel. They all fucking match.
Yeah.
Like,
this was Mark Zuckerberg like, what do humans have in their house to decorate the scene? Well, let me put up Baby Ray's barbecue sauce on the shelf behind me. Like, this dude isn't real.
Thanks. No,
he
God,
can't be.
no.
He doesn't know what reality is. So he built a new one.
You look at him and it's like the uncanny valley.
Yeah.
And then there's that picture of him smiling now. Oh my goodness, bro.
I hate this guy.
He's fake.
All right, everybody, welcome back to Head in the Office. I hope you are ready for an absolute banger of an episode. We got lots to cover today. We're going to talk about a new budget reconciliation bill, a new one.
Yeah, a new one.
A new plan proposed by President Joe Biden. We'll talk about the progressives' response to that bill, and then another one of our favorite CEOs and mega billionaires, Elon Musk.
Literally the richest man in the world now.
That's true.
He just hit $300 billion.
Really?
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yes.
I just love living in America.
I've got like $10 to my name.
Straight up. But before we get into all that, make sure to support the show. You already know what we're going to say. Check out the Patreon, YouTube, TikTok. Leave us a 5-star review on Apple.
Exactly.
Help out the show.
Come
help out
on.
the show. If you
You
enjoy
know
Head in
what
the
to
Office,
do.
help out the show. You leave a review on Apple. We'll check it out. We'll read it next
We'll read
time.
it out at the beginning. But
Yeah.
I'd like to start off the pod before we dive into these topics, talking about one of our patrons, TX,
Oh, yeah.
and how he messaged us on Patreon and mentioned that he's starting to radicalize his friends.
That's true.
He said he started talking to his homie at work, trying to like talk about politics, get a little into it.
Yep.
This is what it's all about, people.
Yeah, he said that he showed his friend at work, the pod even.
Yeah.
That's how you radicalize your friends. You show them
Thanks.
some
Come on,
leftist
yeah,
content.
Maybe show them the pod.
We meant to mention this at the end of the last episode, but we missed the message before we get, just
Facts.
scheduling
You know how it
conflicts.
is.
But yeah, we really appreciate when our listeners share the show. It's a great way to radicalize your friends. It's vital to
Exactly.
to our
To the cause.
leftist cause. So
Facts.
we love you all.
And we just appreciate you trying to radicalize your friends, you trying to get your friends on the right path, enlighten them, if you will.
Exactly. So let's get right into the budget reconciliation because that'll be the bulk of this episode.
Facts.
So if y'all want a spooky Halloween, and we're recording this on the 31st.
Literally on Halloween.
Yeah, we're recording this on the 31st.
Real scary news coming at
Nothing is scarier than the crushing weight of poverty as your elected officials do nothing to help and unveil a plan that is literally half of the one that was proposed previously. And keep in mind that even that one was still inadequate to addressing actual needs of poor people.
Still gutted.
Exactly.
And this one is more gutted.
Yeah.
And this one is still a proposal.
Yeah. So last Thursday, Biden unveiled a new reconciliation plan right before he left for his visit to Europe, where he went and visited the Pope, actually. So whatever.
Yeah, he said he was a good fucking Catholic.
Yeah, I think I have that in the show notes later. But the plan was literally cut in half. So now you may remember it was $3.5 trillion, the reconciliation plan. Now it is $1.75 trillion.
Yes.
And most of the major provisions that Gage and I said were good are actually gone. So
Everything that we liked.
it's as if Joe Manchin, Kirsten Sinema, and Joe Biden were listening to the last 16 episodes or so. And they're like, you know what? These guys like this stuff, so it's got to go.
Let's take it out.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, call us the negotiator.
No, and keep in mind, this number is over a 10-year period.
Yes.
Like, now that it's 1.75 trillion, that's not even 200 billion a year. What the fuck is with that?
And let's also keep in mind that, and we'll get into like the taxing, like what's happening with taxes a little bit later on.
Yeah.
But the ways that we can pay for this bill are now drastically reduced.
Oh, yeah.
Because we lost a lot of the taxing power that we were going to have with the 3.5 trillion reconciliation bill. And you have only Kirsten Sinema and Joe Manchin to thank for that one. Because literally every other Democrat in the House and Senate, at least ostensibly, were on board with this plan.
Facts, at least they said they're on.
Right.
You know how politics works. But, like, keep in mind that now it's that's going to be about 175 billion each year for this fucking plan, right?
Yep.
This plan that's going to help a lot of people. The military budget is 753 billion.
Yes.
Like, what are we defending with that?
Your freedom is actually still in Afghanistan.
Actually, your freedom to die in your house of starvation, your freedom to work yourself to death, your freedom to die of medical debt, because we're not going to help you with all those.
Yeah, and even though the U.S. has a bunch of different military bases around the world in different countries,
over 300,
situated in very strategic areas, you don't need healthcare.
No,
Sorry,
no.
you don't need that. So we're about to go kind of into an in-depth analysis. I know Gage has lots of data here that we're going to comb through.
We threw down some numbers.
Before we get into that, I want everyone to consider these changes to the reconciliation bill in the context of Biden's approval rating absolutely tanking. So I was looking at some aggregate polling on 538. It's a good polling website.
Yes.
And they say that he's at about 43% approve, 50% disapprove, and 7% saying neither nor.
Wow.
Which is really, I think it's more than a 10% drop off from when he came into office, which is pretty bad.
Yeah.
Every individual poll, before that I was talking about aggregate data, so all of it combined, but every individual poll puts Biden at sub 50%. And only one poll has him break even throughout the last month. So bro's not doing too well. And it's almost as if Biden was teasing us with this disappointment of a bill at the last town hall. He was just, because we were talking about how bad and sus his answers were.
Yeah.
And now it all makes sense.
Oh yeah. It's pretty fun. And before we dive into this, I wanna spend some time pointing out this quote from a CBS article I read about the situation. They said, Democratic leaders have spent weeks haggling with their colleagues over the size and scope of the package, working to bridge the gaps between a pair of moderate Democratic senators, Joe Manchin of West Virginia and Kyrsten Sinema of Arizona, and progressives in the House. Don't you just think it's so funny that that's the gap that CBS wants to frame it as they're trying to bridge?
I hate this framing so much.
What do you mean bridging the gap? The bridge between the moderates and the progressives has long been burned.
Yes.
It doesn't fucking exist. It's gone, reduced to ashes.
Well, here's the thing is we don't even have to label it as moderates and progressives. It's every other Democrat and Manchin and Sinema. That's the gap right now.
Yeah, if you really want to talk about what the actual gap is, the gap is between moderate Democrats and moderate Democrats.
Yes.
More aptly, the gap is between conservatives and conservatives.
Yeah, that quote, it acts as if there's equal blame on both sides.
Oh, literally.
It's very, very clear that there's not equal blame on both sides.
Oh my God, not at all. It's the only actual gap you could point to is between fucking Joe and Joe.
Yeah.
That's it.
Joe Cucks Joe, shout out last episode.
Thanks. That's what it is. That's all that it fucking is, dude. It's ridiculous.
I hate them.
Oh my God, dude.
You wanna hop right into the package?
Yes.
Right into the bill?
Exactly. Now that we got that out of the way, roughly a third of the new package is dedicated to climate change. Included in the climate change provisions is a fucking tax credit for people to buy electric vehicles.
Yep.
And if you know anything about that, I think we talked about it either last week or 2 weeks ago. Electric vehicles, as of now, the production of them is almost as bad as regular cars.
Yeah, because you still have to make them in factories, and factories are the entities that are polluting the air.
Exactly, and cobalt is a hot commodity right now.
Right,
so hot that Daddy Elon, just uses child labor in developing nations to get it. Yeah,
you gotta love that.
Gotta love that. We just love that. We love incentivizing that through taxes.
Yep.
Because we have to also consider that this is a subsidy for Tesla.
Yeah. No, it's a Tesla subsidy.
Yeah.
And Tesla's literally just a money laundering front. So
oh my God, yeah, Tesla is horrible. But we'll get into Daddy Musk later.
Yeah.
And so there's also tax incentives for people to get solar panels. But I also want to point out with that, if it's anything like Obama's PACE program, it's going to be fucking stupid. And if you don't know what the PACE program is, I won't get into it now, but there's a really great John Oliver section from a couple months back ago. I think it was June about it.
Okay.
I'd implore you to watch that. Because that shit is dog. It just hurt a bunch of middle-class people because the government subcontracted some contractors to handle the program, and the contractors fucked up. It's kind of like what Nestle did with the child labor, but not as bad.
Yeah, but they got away with that too.
So true. But we also got away with it.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Also, I want to just add about this solar panel thing. That program, while it's tax incentives, which acts as if everybody is utilitarian when it comes to this stuff.
Yes.
Like, not everyone is going to maximize their tax utility. Not everyone is going to be looking for tax incentives. And a lot of people just aren't going to be able to install solar panels.
They aren't going to be able to afford it.
Even, yeah, that's what I was going to say, is even if there is a tax incentive, like even if, like, I don't, what do they mean tax incentive? Do you know?
No, I do not know. That's all I found about it.
So there's some kind of incentive, monetary incentive here. But even if that is the case, it may not be enough to cover the cost of actually installing solar panels to your house. And if we want to make this work on a large scale, millions and millions of people need to be able to do it. But they're not going to be able to. It's an individual solution to a systemic issue. It's not going to work.
Oh, yeah. And just building off that, we also have to consider that, like, who is this really helping?
Yeah.
Literally just the upper middle class, the homeowners. Because in a state like California, literally in California, only 55% of people actually own their homes.
Exactly.
So only 55% of people can make that decision for themselves.
At maximum.
At maximum. At maximum.
The
absolute capacity.
The upper threshold is 55%
Yes,
of
the
people.
limit
Yes.
is 55% of people. So if a landlord is taking advantage of this and is getting even more fucking tax breaks than
Yes.
whatever the shit they already do, are they going to pass on those additional profits in the
Nope.
form of like reducing rent?
Rent's staying the same, baby, or it's going up,
It's going up to cover the cost of installing the solar panels,
which they get a tax incentive for.
which they can tax incentive for and fucking attract like the gentrifier crowd
Yeah.
in saying that they're now running off of green energy.
Yes.
And they will just further gentrify more neighborhoods.
Yeah.
It's fucking stupid.
It is
It's
really dumb.
And you know that Joe Manchin's got his grubby little mitts all over this.
Yeah,
all
bad
over
policy.
something like this.
Bad
It's the only
policy.
thing you can get through with
Yeah.
him in there.
And more notably as well, the two major programs that we had talked about before were ones that Manchin opposed and were stripped probably because of Manchin. The
Yeah.
first one is the Clean Electricity Payment Program, which is the one we talked about, I think, 2 episodes ago that Manchin hated. It pays utility providers if they match clean energy standards and imposes fines if they didn't.
Yep.
And then there was another one that was a fee on methane, which is a greenhouse gas. And I know that these two programs, I think, covered like 40% or 30% of all emissions. Like that was like the goal
like
was
that,
to hit 30 or 40% of the emissions that are coming. Or let me
Or
try
is
that
it
again.
is it to cut emissions in half from their 2005 levels?
Well, I think that was the overall goal, but these programs were only able to target 30 to 40% of current emissions. I think that's what I was trying to say.
Okay.
Which is like, you may say that's not even a majority. Like, yeah, but that's a pretty big chunk.
It's a
And also,
significant
we have to keep in mind where the emissions are coming from. And it's mostly factories, corporations. Like,
Factories,
it's not
corporations,
individual people's homes, which is why the solar panels thing is stupid.
Yes, and
Like,
especially those overseas.
Yeah, like it's cool. Like more people having solar panels, it's cool.
Yeah.
But it's not going to solve the issue.
It's cool and it's really fun, and we have to consider the implications of what policies like that are going to have on people who aren't homeowners.
Right.
Like-
Is this something that Joe Biden's going to take to the G20 and be like, yeah, look, we got solar panels, maybe.
he said, hey, look, they can choose to buy solar panels, and they might
Yeah.
get $100 back come tax season.
And look, like I can applaud the effort to make the reconciliation bill a majority, or at least a plurality of the funds going towards the reconciliation bill are going towards clean energy standards and climate change provisions, stuff like that. And I can applaud that. That's good. It's like the biggest investment in climate efforts ever in this
Yeah.
country. But like it doesn't get at the heart of the problem.
No, not at all.
Which is that it's profitable to pollute the earth.
It is peak neoliberal.
Exactly. Like it's not getting to the meat of why things are happening, and it's capitalism. Like
yes,
that's all it is.
100%.
It is not. The profit motive aligns with that of using fossil fuels to pollute the earth, and unless we undo that, none of these climate change proposals are actually going to stop climate change. It's just a Band-Aid measure.
Yeah, these climate change proposals are like giving the same energy as austerity measures.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And how
Yeah.
they sound like, oh, it sounds good to maybe cut Social Security to decrease the deficit, but what's it really going to do? It's just going to hurt people.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
kind of the same thing with these climate measures.
Yeah.
You know?
It's sad to see. I'm glad that climate change is being invested in, but it's not enough.
Exactly. And then you know that like they're going to use this investment to curb future investments.
Yeah.
Say, oh, we already put $400 billion into this.
Right,
We
it's gonna be
already
like
did this.
it's gonna be like 2045. They're like, well, in 2021 we had the biggest investment in climate change ever. And it's like,
Facts,
bro,
facts.
okay, but the problem still exists.
Yeah.
and this does not solve the problem.
Crazy
not even
how
close.
you didn't invest in the right things.
Yeah,
Crazy,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
All right, but moving on from that, $400 billion in the bill is dedicated to childcare and boomer care. And this includes universal pre-K for 3 and 4-year-olds, which is pretty cool. It's like
Yep.
a huge expansion to public education, even though I feel like it's a little bit more important on the I guess, what could you say, 13th and 14th grade level? The community
Yeah,
college
you would
level?
think so.
You would think so.
Which,
since
by the way,
for the
that's completely gone.
Yeah. We'll get to that in things that are cut from the bill. But universal pre-K, cool. It's really cool. It'll help
good.
parents with childcare, even though there are going to be some like added issues with that because you also need additional childcare when you have a kid in school because who picks them up, who drops them off,
Exactly.
like the busing, a lot of things to think about when it comes to that. But I guess the biggest part of this is childcare costs can no longer exceed 7% of income for some families. However, Joe Manchin won, and parents have to adhere to work requirements.
See, I'm wondering, they say childcare costs are never going to exceed 7% for like families that are below a certain income threshold.
Yeah.
But like how? Like how do you guarantee that? Is what I'm wondering.
Don't know. I literally don't know how this is going to pass.
Yeah.
And also, like, that's not all of childcare.
Right.
They're just talking about, like, daycare and shit, aren't they?
Yeah. And by the way, like, we'll get into cuts later, but like paid parental leave is out. Completely out.
Yes.
Like not even a day of paid parental leave is in this bill still. So like I don't understand how they're going to say that your income will never go it's no more than 7% of your income is going to go towards childcare. It seems like a talking point.
And it's like, speaking of childcare, it's a meaningless number. Like, what about food?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's also there. What about, clothes and shit?
Yeah.
Like, that's a substantial
Housing.
cost. Fucking
Transportation
housing,
costs.
yeah.
Like not every cent you spend on housing or food or clothes or whatever is going to go towards your kid, but that's a part of it.
Yeah.
And like, is that not going to be included in that 7%? Like, how wide is this 7% that we're talking about? Like, it's like, where did they pick the number?
And
it's a good idea.
Facts.
I like the idea of reducing costs that reducing costs that childcare requires. But like, I don't see anything in this package that's doing that, really.
Mm-hmm. And we also have to consider, again, the implication of this, which is a broader implication of implementing social programs within the framework of capitalism.
Yeah.
Is that, are people going to come in and is this just going to sprout underfunded childcare facilities that are shitty and only perpetuate the issues we have now in places like an inner city?
That was my exact thought, is that it's going to just end up being like Medicaid.
Yeah.
Like Medicaid is a great program that has a lot of potential, but it's extremely underfunded, and a lot of those that qualify for Medicaid benefits just don't get them because the staffing isn't there.
And it's at the behest of capital.
Exactly.
These programs don't work within a capitalist framework.
Right. It's a Band-Aid for capitalism. It's an attempt to reform capitalism.
Exactly. And I forgot to put this in the show notes, but I was reading the other day. There's also some shit about like free lunch programs.
Yeah.
Free lunch programs or maybe it's later, whatever. Free lunch programs are being expanded, but during the summers, which is the concern with the free lunch program, kids that rely on free lunch, they don't have food in the summers. Guess what they're giving to families who qualify for free lunch in the summer for food?
What are they giving them?
$65 a month.
Oh, I did see that.
What the fuck is that? What?
Bro, we make more on the Patreon a month.
Fucking literally $65 a month, like especially right now in this fucking economy.
Yeah, exactly.
With all the fucking inflation going on
That's
right now,
ridiculous.
Do you know how
That's such
much
a slap
like
in the
fucking
face.
chicken costs?
Yeah,
Chicken's like the cheapest fucking thing. It's so fucking expensive right now.
Yeah.
Literally all food that's like 3 meals.
I remember I was reading through some article about this whole plan before we started recording, and I saw that it was like $65 a month, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
Literally,
I don't understand where that idea came from. Like, that's like a crumb. It's nothing.
It's almost offensive,
right? No, it is offensive
Like-
because like it's going to take much more than $65 a month to heal the wounds that the working class of this country are facing.
No, literally, and it's like sure, it's like a subsidy, but what is that like? That's top ramen.
Yeah,
That's literally just fucking top ramen.
right. People go grocery shopping like once a week usually, and it's much more than $65.
Groceries are fucking expensive.
Like, you think the deficit there is $65?
Literally.
It's gross. It's gross.
God damn, like,
Yeah.
fucking A, dude. Anyway, moving on. So, Medicaid will now better cover elderly care and home care.
Yeah.
The funds dedicated to Medicaid will hopefully fix the staffing shortages that they currently have.
Yeah, and that goes along with the boomer care.
That's pretty much what it is.
Which is what I mentioned. Like, Medicaid is terribly underfunded. And I don't know how much of this $400 billion is going towards Medicaid, but hopefully it's a substantial enough amount so that, the elderly that have worked their entire lives are not just being forgotten about
Literally.
when their retirement funds dry up, or if they don't have enough retirement funds. So I guess we'll see.
And it's like, it's already hard enough to fucking pay an at-home nurse.
Yeah.
Let alone find one through a shitty government program.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly, yeah.
When my grandma like fell and broke, like she couldn't take care of herself essentially anymore. She was like getting dementia. We were trying to find an at-home nurse like so hard, so fucking hard for it. Didn't fucking work. My aunt ended up having to move in with her.
Yeah.
Like it's and this woman worked all her life as a fucking like not a housekeeper at a hospital.
Right. You did nothing, like as an elderly person, you do nothing but contribute to society your entire life, working for a wage that is never enough, getting benefits that are never enough to cover what your family needs. And at the end of your life, you should at the very least expect society to provide for you now.
Literally.
Like as you are living out the last decade, 2 decades, 3 decades of your life, you should be able to be comfortable at the very fucking least.
Facts. And her like experience in America was just like almost utter shit. Anyway.
Yeah, naturally.
Naturally, her experience in America was utter shit. She fucking came over during the Vietnam War. She married my grandpa, who was like a fucking soldier over there. And one, better than I guess what it was like in Vietnam, than because of us.
Yeah.
Because we fucked up the region further than it was already fucked up. Because Vietnam has its own complex geopolitical history about geting free and shit like that. You're not going to die.
Liberation talk, naturally.
Exactly. But like she came over as a fucking immigrant. Rampant racism after the Vietnam War.
Oh, yeah.
Worked as a fucking housekeeper at a hospital. Slaved away like basically her entire life and just fucking died.
Quite literally slaved away. And that's not a hyperbole.
Yeah, no, facts.
Like actual wage slavery. Just to in the ending years of her life get nothing in return from the society that she contributed greatly to. It's disgusting.
Dude,
how do we treat our own people?
Literally.
Jesus Christ.
And speaking of Medicare, not Medicaid, we can talk about its sister program, Medicare, right? Medicare will now include hearing, and that's it.
All this talk, poor Bernie, all this talk about hearing, vision, and dental. And Joe Biden says, let's go with hearing aids.
Let's go.
And it's going to be over-the-counter hearing aids. I hate this dude. I hate this guy so much.
Aren't over-the-counter hearing aids like relatively cheap too?
I have no idea.
And that's it?
No, yeah, hearing is the cheapest one out of the 3.
Naturally.
So that's why they went with it, which is good. Like it's really good because, you know, as you get older, you need hearing devices, and there are even young people that need hearing devices.
Yeah.
So it's good that Medicare will cover it, but like, come on. like the other things are also vital to human survival.
They're also very important, and they are a little more important if we're going to rank these things like that.
Yeah, if we have to.
Dental care is intimately tied to heart health.
Yes.
Just because direct stream, like direct entering the bloodstream and shit like that. Vision, you kind of need that. Vision and hearing kind of on the same tier.
Yeah.
But vision can be more expensive. It kind of depends. But like, bro, come on.
But also, like, if we're talking in the scope of economics and we want to be an economic powerhouse, your workers need to be able to fucking see.
They need to be able to see, hear, and eat.
Yeah, exactly. Like, if they can't do those things, how do you expect them to be efficient? Like, this is just saying, like, fuck you, poor people.
Crazy,
like, I don't care.
And it's crazy how we could have paid for all this if Medicare could just negotiate drug prices.
No, though, that's too much.
But that was cut a couple weeks ago. So I guess we won't touch on that one.
Yeah, exactly. That's so crazy to me how they cut that out. Oh, my goodness.
God damn, bro. And then these provisions just bolster the ACA.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Because there's another thing about how we're going to expand insurance to like 9 million more people, but only if they get it through the ACA marketplace.
Yeah. And here's the thing is that the ACA, while it's cool and all and like was a step forward in terms of our healthcare system, it was never a long-term solution.
And it was kind of dog.
And it was kind of bad to begin with.
Yeah.
And like Barack Obama knew that.
Facts,
like it was a step forward, but one that was like so minute and insufficient that it got immediately defunded and gutted by Republican Party.
Yeah, it got defunded before it even landed.
Yeah.
One. And while, yes, it did help a lot of poorer people, it also hurt a lot of lower middle class people.
Yeah.
Like people who are still living paycheck to paycheck ended up having to pay more for insurance through the ACA.
Yeah.
Like it was a dog shit program overall.
Yeah.
And why focus on it when as soon as we get a fucking conservative House or Senate, it's going to get gutted.
Right.
That was already a major agenda item under Trump.
Like, I don't understand how, like, at this, like, even Biden has recognized, I think he said it at the town hall, like, the ACA wasn't enough, and it doesn't do enough, and it has never done enough. So why are we just pouring more money into the ACA again?
Yeah, while also jerking himself off about how good it was. But
yeah, naturally. Like, it's always been woefully insufficient to addressing the needs of, or the healthcare needs of regular working class people that are struggling to afford healthcare.
Yeah.
and we're just putting more money into it. Like, I feel like we're stuck in this perpetual loop that anytime a Democrat's in power or we have a Democratic trifecta, it's just like, let's put more money into the ACA.
Yeah,
instead of coming up with a new healthcare plan or providing a public option or even going as far as to entertain, just think about a universal healthcare program.
Medicare for all, possibly. Maybe think about just gradually lowering the age every year or some dumb shit like that.
Yeah, no, it's staying, though.
It's
it was going to get
staying.
lowered to 60, not anymore.
No. Oh, no, that'd be way too expensive. And here's the kicker. Like, all this, right? Insurance will be expanded. That's a cool thing, I fucking guess. And insurance premiums for those who have insurance through the ACA marketplace will be lowered by about $600.
Yeah.
That's good, but that's nothing when we consider how much healthcare actually fucking costs.
Right, yeah. Procedures like $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, like
Yeah.
once.
like your premium's lowered.
Yeah.
What about your deductible?
Exactly.
What about that?
Or any of the costs that come along with healthcare other than premium payments. Like $600 is good, but like what if you're paying more than $600 in premiums?
What if you're paying more than 600 premiums? What if you got a stupid fucking high deductible right now?
Yeah.
What if you actually, God forbid, have to stay in the hospital for a week and miss work? What about what's subsidizing those lost wages?
Yeah.
Since medical and family leave also got cut.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's good. Like it'll help people in some capacity, but like I said, like we said, none of this is enough. It's not comprehensive enough to address the source of the issue.
Yes.
It's not even comprehensive enough to like get below surface level on these issues. So that's fun.
It's crazy. Like, we could literally just get rid of the ACA, one thing, get rid of it, but keep the good things, like the fucking disability shit. What was it?
I can't remember.
It was a big like presidential debate topic. Trump wanted to get rid of ACA like fully. It was going to Supreme Court. Pre-existing conditions.
Oh yeah.
Like, keep that shit. Get rid of just like the bad shit. Keep like. Oh my fucking god! Dude.
You can quote Gage on that one. Get rid of that shit, or keep the good shit. Get rid of the bad shit.
Come on, it's simple.
Come on, guys. Put
It's
us.
really simple.
Get us elected to the House.
Exactly. Right.
Put us in there. Put us in there.
And so, additionally, $150 billion is planned to be invested into affordable housing initiatives, as well as down payment and rental assistance. This is estimated to help subsidize the building of 1 million affordable housing units.
But remember this in the context of that's great and all, but we have more than or just about 4 million homeless people in this country.
Yes.
And I want to note that we have 4 million homeless people not because we don't have enough homes, but because they cannot afford to live in those homes.
Yes.
And so creating more affordable housing units, that's cool, like it looks nice, but it's unnecessary.
Oh, yeah.
Which, again, plays to the same theme, doesn't get at the heart of the issue, which is these fucking landlords and real estate agencies going insane on the pricing because they know that they can price gouge people.
Exactly. Instead of doing something like investing into the building of more affordable units, why don't we invest in things like rent control?
Yeah.
Why doesn't the government buy out lots? Like affordable lots that they can charge dirt cheap fucking rent for
Yeah.
and that people can actually like live in.
Yeah. Like, we have more homes in this country than homeless people. We have
Yes.
more empty living units than homeless people in this country. And that's like, that's not reason to build more affordable housing units, although like that'll be good for the future. But that is reason to put rent controls on
Yes.
landlords.
Establish rent controls.
Or to establish more regulations on real estate agencies so they can't just price gouge everyone searching for a home.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand why we go through these like roundabout ways to just not actually affect the source of the issue.
Yes.
It's just so mind-numbing.
And it's like we don't mind building new affordable houses.
Yeah, no, that's
not
good.
the issue here. But the issue is flexing this when it's not a flex.
Right.
The government can be doing more.
Right.
Like, honestly, like y'all know how I feel about the market, but the market will necessitate like the need for more affordable units. The issue with that is then we have 5/1s popping up in California, and they're just gentrifying neighborhoods.
Yeah.
That's what the issue has been with the affordable units in the private sector. It's not going to help.
Yeah.
Now that they're government buildings.
It's the same thing as like when Alec Baldwin accidentally shot somebody on set.
Fuck.
And the response to that was, let's just get rid of all firearms off of sets rather than let's ensure that the workers we have employed actually know what they're doing and are being properly taken care of.
Yes.
Like, getting rid of all the guns on every single set in Hollywood, like, okay, that'll make it so people stop getting hurt by firearms.
It's reactionary.
But if your workers are not actually trained properly, paid properly, getting enough sleep, getting enough food, being able to live comfortably, then more mistakes are going to happen. People are going to get hurt elsewhere. It doesn't attack the heart of the issue, which is that workers aren't being treated properly.
Exactly.
it's the same thing. Like, just it's going in a roundabout way to solve a problem that's just going to lead to more problems.
And it's like these won't even be government buildings. They're just subsidizing the building.
Yeah,
So they're subsidizing things that are already happening within real estate, which I think is fucking stupid considering the state of the market, specifically the state of the real estate investment market, which is already a fucking risk-free investment.
Yeah.
Like, these buildings are already being built. Like I said, the market is already like demanding that.
Yeah.
As much as I hate the market.
And I already hear the counter arguments like, well, if the government gets involved in the housing market, it'll destroy real estate agencies. Good.
Yeah,
It'll hurt landlords. Okay. Like, they get a real job. I don't know what to tell you. Like,
Thanks,
you're not contributing to society in any meaningful way that we couldn't do in another way. Like, just, I don't care if it fucks with the market, if it means that poor people have a place to live.
Facts, bro.
Because ultimately, working class people having shelter is going to be better for the economy than letting landlords exist in some kind of free market utopian society in the neoliberal lens.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care about that. I don't care.
And this is also just obfuscating the fact that we already have so many vacant lots. Not even vacant lots, vacant homes on lots. Because while the real estate in itself will depreciate over time, the land in places like California will only appreciate over time. That's why you see so many fucking vacant buildings just sitting on land.
Yeah.
Because developers just build them just to have it, just to stake a claim. And that's it.
Yeah.
And they're just going to make the money back when they sell the land in the future.
Yeah.
It's stupid.
It doesn't matter that there's like 45 homeless people right on the same street that building is on or house is on.
Literally living in front of the building, in the overpass in front of the building. It doesn't matter. They just can't stay there.
One last thing on what may be in the bill is Biden alluded to the fact that there might be some immigration reforms put in, like maybe $100 billion worth of it. But it has been deemed a violation of like parliamentarian rules by the parliamentarian before. Yeah. So it's unclear if that's going to actually stick. My assumption is going to be no, because we hate doing anything good for anybody, especially when it's people that don't live in our country that are not white.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. But that could be something that's in it, by the way. I don't know what that'll look like yet, but it's a possibility.
Facts.
Yeah. So, I think we could probably move on to some cuts.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
the even more depressing part of this news.
a lot of cuts. So basically, we already hit it. We already hit it once, but no more free community college.
Pell Grants, though.
Pell Grants.
Extra $500.
That's like
to cover 2 textbooks, baby.
2 textbooks. And like the thing that was craziest to me about like entering college first is I had always heard that like, oh, like textbooks are really expensive. And yes, textbooks are very expensive.
Yeah.
But you know what's also expensive and a product of the like internet age? Access to homework.
Yeah, no, straight up. Yeah, you
like,
gotta pay to do your homework.
My calc homework is just completely online, completely separate from everything.
Yeah.
$75 a semester.
Right, and I don't want to do it anyway. Like, why do I have to pay for it? Like, how is this I'm being forced to buy something? How's that free market for you?
Yeah, hold on a minute now. What's up with that?
Yeah, exactly. I have a quote from Vox here about the community college stuff. It says, Biden's original plan guaranteed 2 years of tuition-free community college to all students who are interested in the program, a policy that about 20 states currently have. This proposal would have helped reach students in places that don't already provide this service. Access to free community college has been found to increase both students' likelihood of attending four-year institutions and higher education broadly. So there's no doubt that, like, free community college is just a good thing.
Yeah, literally, that's it. It's just a good thing.
It just helps students, it helps low-income people, and it helps the economy in the long run. But it's gone now.
Who even wanted it out of the bill?
Joe Manchin.
Why?
Because he doesn't like poor people. I don't know.
It's facts.
But that's the thing. That's the thing that amazes me every time is that West Virginia would benefit the most from this.
Oh, literally.
They're so poor.
Fucking literally. Not only would West Virginia benefit the most from this, but like, if you even look at the money, like, there's no money coming in telling him to do this.
Well, I mean, we know of.
I mean, like, there probably is a little bit, but like most of it is oil and gas.
Yeah, like, I mean, maybe it was Kyrsten Sinema or like somebody else, but I know that there was like general apprehension or just like disgust from the ones that we don't like.
Yeah, and it's like especially weird because like in the same news day that I saw that happen, I'd also seen an article about Chuck Schumer trying to tell Biden to cancel student debt.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, Chuck, why don't you tell him to do this too?
Yeah. Well, I mean, but like Joe Biden won't cancel student debt either.
No.
Like, he literally says like, I'm not going to do it. Or like, I can't do it. Like, you could do it. You could do it.
And it's like, I just think it's funny that I haven't seen something about like Chuck Schumer at AOC putting pressure on Joe to cancel student debt until free community college is out of the bill again.
Yeah.
It's like, why don't you fight for this all the time?
Yeah. Yeah. Next thing though, not in the bill. No more drug price negotiation from Medicare.
Thank you, Kyrsten.
Gotta love that one. To be fair, like you said earlier, this was never going to make it. This is far too powerful for cinema to ever allow, since she's literally just a spawn, the true embodiment of the medical big pharma industry.
That's right, baby. She's literally their fucking spokesperson within Congress.
Gotta
'Cause
love
that's
it, though.
all that politicians are now. They're
Yeah.
corporate spokespeople.
Yeah.
That write legislation that dictates our lives.
Yeah, exactly.
I love $1,000 pills.
Yeah. Next thing, though, no more family or medical leave.
Let's go.
Let's go. Which, we talked about last week for the Biden town hall recap. It was already whittled down to 4 weeks, and now 0.
You know that little baby Manchin, Joe Manchin's son, was like, Dad, here at Enter Systems, like, we work our workers to the bone. If this gets passed, that we're going to have to give them like a bunch of money for not doing a lot of work, and we're going to have to hire new people.
Yeah.
So we should get this out of there.
Yeah, this makes people lazy. Being able to, tend to your wounds when you get like a disease or some sickness,
Yeah.
and you need to be able to be out of work for a couple weeks. That makes you so lazy.
Yeah, what's next? They can get a paper cut and just take a week off?
Yeah, what's next? You can raise your kid? Why would we want to support that in any way?
What's next? You could be there for your child's birth?
Family values, though. Conservative, traditional family values.
So true.
I got some stats here on paid family leave, though.
Okay.
Only about 8% of low-wage workers, which is those making around $35,000 a year, have paid family leave. 8%.
Wow.
And that's compared to 20% of all workers in general have paid family leave.
And it's not extensive.
No.
Not
No.
at all.
No. And less than half of low-wage workers have paid sick leave. Less than 50%. And this, obviously, these dynamics, these hurt marginalized groups like women, the ones who give birth, and workers of color the most.
Yeah.
Because they're the ones that are working the low-wage jobs, and they're the ones that are suffering from not having paid leave of any type.
And they don't have the amenities in their neighborhood. They're suffering disproportionately from medical emergencies. They're suffering disproportionately from everything.
Right.
Like, oh my God.
It's racist. Like, it's racist.
This is systemic racism.
Yeah, exactly. The United States is the only industrialized nation in the world to not have paid leave. Yeah, we call ourselves the greatest country in the world. Like, you're a demon if you think that we shouldn't have some type of paid leave. You're a demon.
We call ourselves the greatest country in the world, and we are the richest country in the world.
Yes.
Like, non-negotiable. We are the richest country in the world.
By every metric.
Where's all that money going?
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's not going back to the workers who literally produce every single dime in this country. Mm-hmm. It is going to the wealthy, of course.
Woo.
Yeah, and it's not, and no paid leave of any type in this bill. So that's a whole lot of fun.
Facts. And,
so we're going to remain at the very bottom of the list when it comes to all other industrialized nations.
I love it. We're already like 2. You know what we are at the top of the list of? Top 3.
School shootings.
Oh shit.
What else would we be at the top of the list of? Probably like firearms owned by citizens.
Oh, well, yeah. Like amongst other OECD
incarcerated
nations.
Population per capita.
Yes.
What else?
We're number 1 right there, smack dab at the top, baby.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure as of 2019 we are number 2 in poverty.
Let's go. Wait, who's
Easy.
number 1?
Is either Turkey or Puerto Rico?
Oh, we can beat them.
We could totally at this rate. At the
Definitely.
rate we're going, we'll beat them.
That is so abysmal.
Yeah.
Like, how can you ever advocate for the system that we currently have when you look at those numbers?
Well, because most people don't see those numbers. I've never seen those numbers until like I stumbled upon them one day.
Yeah, of course, but like that conservative pundits are aware of these dynamics.
Oh yeah.
Yet they still say that this is the greatest country in the world, or we have like the greatest system and we need to preserve it.
Mm-hmm.
And then when people are suffering or impoverished, which happens to a lot of people in this country, they're like, oh, they just need to work harder. Like, pull yourself up by your bootstraps.
That's right, baby.
Like, are people just lazy?
Reaganomics.
Like that's your hypothesis, is that millions of Americans are just lazy? What? When other nations are doing it better than us, they have better social safety nets and systemic measures to ensure that people don't fall behind. And your explanation is they're lazy?
Yeah.
Like what do you think of Americans then at that point?
Facts.
Like, you don't care about this
Yeah.
country. What do you like about America? What makes it so great if you think everyone's lazy?
No, fucking literally,
Yeah.
though. If everyone is lazy, if most of your workforce is fucking lazy, what are you?
Yeah, exactly.
Come on now, dude.
Shit pisses me off.
And now, speaking of those who apparently aren't lazy,
Yeah, the mega wealthy.
the mega wealthy.
Or even just the regular wealthy, because fuck them too.
So true, but not the regular wealthy, actually, but I'll get into it.
Oh, true.
You'll
true,
see
true,
why.
true,
You'll
true.
see why.
I understand what you're alluding to.
We're on to some more tax shit.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you may recall, the proposed tax increases were kind of good. They were like, all right. They were already pretty mid.
That's funny because we made a lot of fun of them when their tax plan dropped.
Yes, we did.
And now we're not regretting our words, but we understand that maybe we were a lot better off back then.
Even though we still weren't even great off back then.
Maybe we took it for granted.
If you recall, I believe the top marginal tax rate was going to be increased from 38 to 39.6%.
I think it was 37 to 39.6.
Yes, 37 to 39.6%.
Big jump.
And a 3% surtax on anyone making over $5 million a year.
Yes. Yep.
That was like the big thing of it. There was also going to be a long-term capital gains increase to like 25%.
Yeah, and I think there was
From
going to be
20.
was it corporate tax rate at 25?
There's going to be a corporate tax rate of 27.
Okay, yeah.
Because
that's what
Joe
it was.
Manchin wanted 25.
Right, okay.
But it was 27. You know, still pre-Trump.
Just a little bit of added context. We drastically overcompensated for all of the criticisms here.
Oh, yes, we did. Oh,
Yeah.
yes, we did. Okay. So getting into what now is the current tax plan. If you recall from the town hall that we covered last week,
Yeah.
yes, last week, Biden stressed there that there would be absolutely zero, zilch tax increases for anyone making less than $400,000 per year.
Yep.
And boy, did he overcompensate. Because now, as it stands, there are absolutely no tax increases for anyone making less than $10 million a year.
Let's go, baby. That means we're safe. We were safe before, we're safe now.
It's like the top 0.1%.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
And billionaires are still telling you that they're gonna tax you more.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck?
Man, like there was so much fear mongering around that 400,000 number. They're like you and your family are gonna get taxed more for being like an upper middle class family. That's impossible now. Like if your dad's like a lawyer, you know, and your mom's a nurse, or you know whatever. If your parents have good paying jobs, not a fucking chance. If you're a middle class, upper middle class family, or even a rich family,
Even
that
if
you are
you are
ever
a
getting taxed
top
more.
1% family,
Yeah.
you can be in the top 1% firmly cemented there. Hassan Piker, $2.7 million a year. His taxes are not increasing because of this.
Exactly, and he wants them to.
And yeah, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
What is up with that, dude?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but I get diving into the numbers. For those who are fortunate enough to make more than $10 million a year, their taxes are going to be increased by 5% from 37 to 43%.
Is that the surtax?
Yes, it's just a 5% surtax.
Yeah, okay.
Which, I mean, okay, that's cool. I believe that puts that number at what it would have been under the previous tax plan for anyone making over $5 million.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
like, and I mean, we think about like how wealth goes. Like, the more fucking money you take in a year, the less people making that amount of money.
Right.
You're really cutting your revenue with this one.
Yeah. We're really getting at the heart of the issue here.
Yeah, I am pocket watching the American government, and it is not looking good.
Exactly.
Okay, and then anyone making over $25 million a year will be taxed an additional 3% on top of that 5, making their top marginal tax rate 46%. And keep in mind, this is top marginal.
And you can already hear in the distance, I hear the bells ringing, and the conservatives are making their commercials where it says, Democrats want to tax your family more.
No, they
When
clearly don't.
They literally, in fact, they won't. Like, it's not going to happen.
That video will probably reach 2 people who the Democrats want to tax more.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe if that.
Like, if your family is making more than $10 billion, your taxes are going to go up. If this even passes, by the way.
Facts.
If you're making more than $25 million. But at the same time, if you're making more than $25 million, you'll be fine.
Because it's just a proposal.
Yeah.
It is just a proposal.
Exactly.
But anyway, there's some like money in there dedicated to funding the IRS so that they can hire specialists who can actually go after rich people, which is a very good thing.
Yeah.
That will increase revenue because as it stands right now, they just don't.
Exactly, yeah.
They just don't tackle
like even
tax
if you have
evasion by the rich.
even if you have the higher tax rates, the IRS just literally can't go after them for it.
Facts. And like I'm sure like there's no way they can get this out of there after the backlash they received, like what was it, 3 weeks ago, when they said that the IRS will be monitoring any bank account with over $600 in it.
Oh yeah, that was bad.
Crazy, right? I know
was
they
bad.
increased that threshold to I think $10,000, but like fuck off.
Yeah. Like, why are you tracking me?
Literally, fuck
Why are
off,
you tracking
bro.
me with more than $600? Like, leave me alone.
Facts.
Like, like I got nothing for you, dog.
So-
I promise.
Literally fumbling the bag at every step of the way.
Yeah. Call them Michigan football team, baby.
What facts, bro? Speaking of, well, my voice is gone. The game was fucking crazy.
Yeah, call
Right?
them the Michigan Wolverines.
Exactly. Okay. So, notably, not a single fucking increase to the corporate tax rate. So it will still be chilling at, I believe, 21%.
Yeah.
21% is the current. That's fucking abysmal.
Yeah, that was that a Trump tax cut, I think?
That was a Trump tax cut.
Yeah, because previously Obama and Biden
30.
lowered it, and then Trump
Yes.
lowered it even more. So that's cool.
Under Obama and Biden, wasn't it 35%?
I feel like it was lower, but I don't know.
That was the highest it was there, and I think they lowered it from 35%.
To 28 or something, because I think
To
Biden
28
during
or
the down
29.
hall was like saying like, yeah, we lower taxes on corporations, and then we were like, what the hell, why?
I think they lowered it to 29 because 27, which is what they wanted to lower it with, would have been below the Trump era, like pre-Trump tax cuts.
Yeah, bro, I got no idea.
Something like that.
He's not
Numbers,
enough,
you know what I mean?
regardless.
Whatever it is, fuck them.
Yeah.
Fuck them. They can eat shit and die in a video game.
Yeah, literally.
So there's absolutely no increase to that, even though Joe Manchin has said himself that he's fine with a 25% corporate tax rate.
Right.
So where is it?
Cinema said no taxes whatsoever are going to be increased.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You got me stuttering, bro.
Literally, got me.
I have no words. Where is the democracy? I forget that there are also 50 senators that are just voting no to anything,
Yeah, well, yes.
no matter what it is.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, what is this?
Even like Mitt Romney over the weekend or like last week said, well, this is going to hurt small businesses. Like he's doing the normal conservative like small business grift.
No,
but-
it's literally not.
Yeah.
Because later on it stipulates. Okay, never mind. I'm literally getting into it right now. So just hold your horses.
keep that in the back of the mind.
Yeah. I guess there's some fucking good news in this, and that corporations who make more than $1 billion in profit, I got to it, more than $1 billion.
Yeah.
Your local fucking mom and pop bakery is not making you more than $1 billion.
Yeah, your billionaire mom and pop bakery.
Yeah, unless there's something going on there.
Your Fortune 500 mom and pop bakery.
Exactly. They will have to pay a minimum of 15% in taxes on
Wow.
profits. Which that's the lowest tax rate in the country, pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're considering like anything, because you get into like what's the bottom marginal tax rate?
10%, I think.
10%.
I think so.
Wow,
On
they're-
on your first 10,000.
They're barely paying more than what you pay on your first 10,000.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like fucking long-term capital gains, I believe the lowest is like also 15%, 10 or 15% too.
Something like that.
What the fuck is with this?
Well, it's because corporations are people.
So true.
Except they only start paying taxes on their first $10 billion or $1 billion dollars. So if corporations are people, why don't they have to pay on their first $10,000?
Yeah,
Why do they get to
what's-
pay on their first $1 billion?
What's going on with that? Let me take this to the court. Let me take this to Justice Breyer.
Yeah, they'll rule in all our favor.
Exactly.
Not the corporate interests.
Exactly. So they'll be paying a minimum of 15% in taxes on profits.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also going to be a 15% minimum tax on any foreign profits of U.S. corporations.
That's good.
which is pretty cool.
That's good.
Pretty based, I'd
Yeah.
say. And finally, with regards to corporations, there's going to be a 1% surtax on corporate stock buybacks, which is kind of whatever.
1%?
That's literally what I said.
Here's the thing, though, is that whenever we give tax breaks to corporations, like in any way, whether it be like subsidies or actual tax breaks like what Trump
Yeah.
did, they immediately use all of that money to not go into their
Buybacks.
workers, but to go into stock buybacks. And this 1% is not going to stop them from doing stock buybacks.
It's
like, it's not going to do anything.
1%.
Exactly. Like,
What's the deal?
yeah, but like to address the previous one about the 15% minimum tax on foreign profits, that kind of at least kind of stops the counter argument that like, well, if you tax corporations more, American corporations are just going to outsource and go to other countries, which is like they're going to.
Yeah,
but
they already
they'll
do.
start going to be paying taxes on their profits.
Kellogg's has threatened to do that with
Right.
regards to the strike. They said, you keep striking, we're literally sending all your jobs to Mexico.
Yeah. Luckily, at least those corporations based in America are still going to be paying a tax, so that's cool, I guess.
Tax, yeah, that's cool. But back to like
If the proposal passes, that is
naturally, this, I'm holding out hope.
exactly. Yeah,
But back to
exactly.
this 1% stock buyback tax.
Yep.
Literally any time a corporation is bailed out, most of that money goes to fucking stock buybacks.
Oh, yeah. It's never into raising
that's it.
wages or anything like that.
And stock buybacks only function to pay out investors. Enrich like shareholders like that, and enrich those in the C-suite.
Yes.
That's pretty much it. Sometimes they will buy back stock to pay for like employee stock like options and shit like that, if you know anything about that.
Yeah, but like not really.
But it's
like what does it really do though?
They're not buying back stock in the level that they do whenever they get bailed out for fucking up.
Yeah, and because America literally has to bail them out, or else the industries or the entire economy just collapses.
And there's no penalties for them laying off their workers.
Yeah.
And just overworking the ones that they couldn't lay off anymore,
right.
Or else they wouldn't function.
And a lot of the time when they do stock buybacks, like people may say like, oh, well, that will enable them to like hire more workers, make more jobs. When most of the time they do a stock buyback, they end up slimming down their workforce.
Facts, bro. Stock buybacks, profits.
Yes.
Profits. Yes. Fucking tax them like profits.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit.
Tax them like profits and then give me free college.
If y'all know something crazy about economics, finance, like business like that, hit the Patreon, hit the YouTube comments, yell at me for being wrong. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, you can be wrong, or you can tell us that we're wrong, but I still think that I should have free healthcare.
Yeah,
just gonna
exactly.
Throw that out there, and I cannot be convinced otherwise.
1%, really. You're gonna tell me that that's fucking anything?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Ridiculous.
Oh my god. And so Senate Finance Chair Ron Wyden said that taxes were so messed up that you'll have a situation where professional basketball players will have their taxes increased, and the owners of the basketball teams will have the possibility of not paying taxes.
Yes. It's a celebrity tax.
Yeah.
It's a celebrity tax. Like we'd be taxing basketball players, the people who like get income in like millions of dollars.
And that's the state of taxes right now.
Yeah.
Is a celebrity tax. Like when we talk about these like this is referring to the new surcharges.
Yeah.
On $10 million, $25 million.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what this is talking about.
Yeah. And like people that have incomes that are higher than $10 million will be paying more in taxes, but corporations won't.
No.
But like I thought corporations were people. You know what I mean? And that's why he's saying like the owners of basketball teams may, because they only get incomes in like $75,000 a year, but they get all of their other income and a bunch of stock options that they then can use to get infinite credit from banks.
Yeah.
They won't be paying any more taxes than their players will be, which is like that's fucking insane. Why would that be the way it's set
stupid.
up?
And you look at it and you see that this is also fundamentally racist in the context of like sports and team owners.
Yeah.
Because most of these white team owners are making money off of their minority players, especially in the fucking NBA and the NFL.
Yeah.
Like, what's up with that?
Like you hear conservatives constantly complain that like why would the wealthy have to pay more? We need a flat tax rate. Well, tell me how it's fair that the team owners are paying less in taxes than the players are paying. How does that make any sense whatsoever?
Or the fucking people that they care about.
Right.
Honestly, we could have the NBA without all of that.
Name one owner.
All of the team owners.
Name an owner.
Shit, bro, you got me there.
I can't.
I couldn't name an owner of any sports team. Actually, no. Shark Tank, dude.
Oh, yeah, Mark Cuban?
Yeah, Mark Cuban, but that's just because he's like that guy.
Yeah, he's that guy.
Shark Tank and shit. I used to like that show.
But like the regular person knows infinitely more athletes than they know team owners.
Oh, yeah.
Because the athletes are the ones that are putting in the work. They are workers.
Yes.
Like they are very well paid workers, but they're still workers. They are laborers.
Still laboring for
they
all of
give
that.
you a service or a good, and they are producing a lot of it, and they're producing millions and millions and billions of dollars. Mm-hmm. And all the money that they get taxed is not even comparable to the money that the owners of these teams should be paying in taxes.
Exactly. And not even comparable to the money that they are making.
Yeah. Yeah. And here's my last point on at least the taxes. How do you even pay for the plan now?
I don't know.
Like, do we even have like the tax infrastructure in this bill to pay for the plan over the next 10 years?
I have no idea how the accounting works out.
I don't know.
Oh, fuck. You know what we skipped? We skipped over? I'm sorry. The child tax credit.
Oh, yeah.
The child tax credit will only be expanded for an additional year. Mm-hmm. So Joe Manchin also won with regards of that.
Yeah, it'll be expanded for a year. We should have mentioned this when we talked about child care, boomer care, but that'll be expanded for a year, and I'm guessing there's like some kind of sunset on that, and once Republicans win in 2022, it's not going to be reset.
No, never.
Because not a single Republican voted for that back when it was implemented.
Exactly.
So that's cool.
Even though it's really helping a lot of families.
Yeah.
Only another year.
Yeah, and let's keep in mind that this is just a proposal. And Kyrsten Sinema has reported that she is against any and all tax hikes. And who knows if Joe Manchin, our Lord and Savior, the President Joe Manchin, is going to want to strip any future climate provisions. Because he probably will.
Literally will.
Yeah. And like the entire negotiations have really just been a mess thanks to Kyrsten Sinema and Joe Manchin. And honestly, I would be willing to bet that there's likely more Democrats that didn't like this plan and didn't want to do it that are in the pockets of corporations. And they just used Joe and Kyrsten as a scapegoat.
Like fucking Maggie Hassan.
Yeah.
And the other people who didn't.
Like Mark Kelly.
Mark Kelly, yeah. The other people who voted down $15 minimum wage.
Yeah, there were 8 people that voted on $15 minimum wage. And I would be willing to bet that all of those people also want to propose a reconciliation bill. Yes. Or at least wanted to propose the previous version of it. And they just used Joe Manchin, Kyrsten Sinema as a scapegoat. That way, if somehow, like, there was some universe where a Republican switched over, they still have 2 votes that they need to get.
Sure.
So, you know, they just playing a little bit of politics to ruin your chances at ever getting out of poverty.
Yeah, you know, maybe if you have diabetes, like I know maybe not a lot of our listeners do, but a lot of the people on TikTok, we had one TikTok pop off about like the medical system.
Yeah.
And people were telling us about like their struggles with having to pay for shit like insulin.
Yeah.
I know a girl, family friend, very close to, that had to ration her insulin because she has really bad type 1 diabetes.
Oh, it's probably because in the eyes of conservatives, she's just lazy.
Oh, yeah. It's probably because she just doesn't work hard enough, even though she has to take 6 insulin shots a day.
Why don't you just work a little bit harder to get your health better?
Come on now. Like, get your money up, not your funny up.
Yeah. So, and speaking about Kyrsten Sinema, Joe Manchin, they both issued statements directly after this plan was announced.
Love that.
They got interviewed. Sinema said, "I look forward to getting this done and expanding economic opportunities and helping everyday families get ahead." No, the fuck you're not.
She doesn't look forward to anything, probably.
Yeah, no, you only look forward to planning your outfits for the next day. And your abysmal hair. Like,
Thanks,
that is
Brett.
the only thing. You do not look forward to helping a single soul on this
You look
planet.
forward to planning your preschool ass fits.
Yeah.
Your expo marker ass fit.
You look forward to literally helping Big Pharma, of which you are a creature from.
Yeah.
And then Joe Manchin said, our boy Joe Manchin said, "This is all in the hands of the House right now. I've worked in good faith. I look forward to continue working in good faith. And that's all I have to say today."
Good faith? Good faith. This has all been in good faith?
Tell me one time that this dude's ever worked in good faith on anything.
He literally put his foot down and said no. He's like a fucking toddler at the checkout line.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What is this?
Yeah, no, dude was elected in a red state and said, "I am not going to do a single thing." Mm-hmm. he said, "I got elected in 2018. I'm not doing anything.
Nothing, not a single fucking thing. And I'm here till 24, baby."
Yeah, we can't so Sinema. Can't get rid of him.
There's no process to get rid of him. That's crazy.
So you may be asking yourself, what about the progressives?
Yeah, how are
you know,
they
that's
feeling
the
right
other side of the equation. We got some of them in the Senate, got some of them in the House.
Clearly, there's a bridge to fill between those two.
You would think that, you know, even if Kyrsten Sinema, Joe Manchin, they can kind of play the "I'm stopping all of the democratic processes." Mm-hmm. Technically, progressives could too. Like Bernie could do the same grift. So that being said, Nancy Pelosi said once Joe Biden announced that plan that she wanted to take a vote on the bipartisan infrastructure deal before he left for Europe, I think on Thursday. And progressives basically said, no, we're not doing that.
Good shit.
They said that although they support physical infrastructure, they're not going to take a vote until the Senate passes the bill and they're able to see the legislation or the text of the new reconciliation bill's legislation, which I've heard is going to be like 1,600 pages.
Jesus Christ.
Which is like, first of all, I get Joe Biden just unveiled this plan, but like write the bill. Like what's
true.
What, like, isn't that their job? Like,
Facts,
what else?
What the fuck are you doing? Like,
yeah, what else?
Going to wineries in Europe, Kyrsten?
Oh, true.
Oh.
Just write the bill. Write the bill. I don't understand what's taking so long. But Bernie Sanders said that he was pleased by the progress, but disappointed that Medicare is not going to be able to negotiate prescription drug prices and that vision and dental were left out of the plan. Which, like, yeah, Bernie's been advocating for that for a long time, and I'm also very disappointed. By the way,
I'm a little more than disappointed.
You all may be able to tell.
It's hands with Joe in a video game.
Yeah, exactly. And honestly, if I was in the House or the Senate, I'm a progressive in the House or the Senate, I would at least be like pretending that I was not going to I would sink the plan unless at least like Medicare was able to negotiate and like some more tax reforms got added. Yeah. Because without those things, like, what is this really going to do long term?
Well, like, without those things, what's the immediate pressure to get this passed?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sorry, but there's nothing in here. Like, correct me if I'm wrong. There's nothing in here that's, like, immediately going to help people.
Exactly.
Like, Medicare negotiating drug prices would.
Yeah.
Like dental, vision. Well, we have hearing, but
Yeah.
dental and vision in addition to hearing
Yeah.
would help people.
Yeah.
Those
I
are
mean,
immediate.
like this process has already been such a mess that if I was a progressive in the House, I would be like, yeah, I'm not voting for this.
Yeah.
Like, unless I see the text of the legislation and it's a lot better than you are saying it is, I'm not going to vote for this because it doesn't have the priorities that my voters put me in here to accomplish.
Facts.
Like, why would I do? Like, Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema got to play that grift, and then they pretended like they were doing it in good faith for the last 6 months. Like, they weren't. Nobody in their right mind can look at what Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema were doing and say that they were doing everything in good faith. And if I was a progressive, I would be in the worst faith right now.
Facts.
I'd be like, fuck you. I am not doing a single thing until at least my constituents can be able to get glasses so that they can go to work and see
Facts.
through the Medicare program.
Suck my dick. I'm not doing anything until my constituents don't have to pay for insulin.
Yeah, exactly. Like I would be taking a hardline stance against this.
So there's not a disability tax.
Yeah.
Because it's all that is.
And like, us saying that some liberals might get mad. And they may say, this is a really good package. Like, it was cut down a lot, but it's really good.
It's mid. Like, it's not hurting anything, but it's
Right.
not really helping anything either.
Yeah,
It's
like-
just, it's honestly, some of these things are wastes of money.
Like, I like some of this. I like some of the taxes. A lot of it's bad, and a lot of the good stuff got removed. But there's a couple good things still. I like the climate stuff for the most part. But I've heard a lot of people, a lot of liberal-minded people especially, saying things like, this is bigger than the FDR's New Deal.
I fucking hated reading that CNN article you sent me.
They keep saying this is just like FDR's New Deal or bigger than FDR's New Deal. And it's true. Like when you adjust for inflation, the 1.75 trillion is more in today's dollars than the New Deal is in today's dollars. Like on a money to money comparison, 1-to-1 comparison, it is more. However, the tax rate back then for the highest earners was 63%.
Crazy.
And it climbed over FDR's presidency and I think reached a peak of like 95% before it started to go down under Kennedy, which is then it was like 70, and then under Reagan it just tanked.
Naturally.
Yeah. And it was also at the time FDR implemented the New Deal, it was much more of a leap in proportion to what they had before than this plan is to what we have now. And it like the New Deal was absolutely transformative. It gave a lot of things. It helped pull us out of the Depression, which was going to happen anyway. You know, economics is funky like that. Yeah. But like, this bill, the reconciliation bill, like we said, is huge and does a lot of things that may be good, some things that we criticized, but it doesn't get to the heart of the problem why so many bad things are happening. And that's because Big Pharma is literally a bunch of criminals. Corporations pollute the earth. Families are being treated like wage slaves, and they are being crushed under weekly, monthly expenses. Facts. Secondary schooling is unaffordable, so you literally can't get ahead.
Yeah.
Like, none of it actually attacks those problems. It's Band-Aid measures to a fucking
1000%.
gun wound.
Yeah.
Like, none of this does anything. I hate the comparison to FDR's New Deal because that was a really big deal for the time. But like this reconciliation package, although it has a lot of money, isn't addressing the source of our problem.
It's just fucking throwing money at issues. Like that's it. And not at the right spots either.
Yeah. And like I would say the same thing about the $3.5 trillion bill, although that was infinitely better than this one.
Oh my, somehow. So I didn't even like that bill.
Yeah.
I thought that bill was incredibly mid, as you know, because it's all we fucking talked about for like the last 8 weeks.
But it was a lot better. Like at the very least, it had so much more promise and did a lot more for people. Like the community college stuff, the further investments in childcare, more investments in Medicare. Like at least it did a lot more than 1.75 trillion. This is literally just like Joe Manchin getting his way.
Yeah, like I remember distinctly when the new tax plan dropped.
Yeah.
Because it was at the same time that AOC dress dropped.
Oh, yeah.
AOC's Met Gala drama, the Tax the Rich thing. And I thought that the one thing that I really found the most cringy about the Tax the Rich dress was that it dropped the same night that the new tax plan dropped.
And we learned the rich weren't getting taxed.
And we learned that the tax plan was incredibly mid. And now it's just even more in bad taste.
Yeah.
Because it's not, I don't even know how to describe it.
Like, I hate it when people are like, oh, progressives aren't working in good faith. It's like, fuck you. Nothing ever gets done in good faith. Are you kidding me? Like, when have progressives or any social movement in this country ever accomplished anything by negotiating in good faith?
Facts. And it's like the only like time we've really played politics is right now, well, I guess not right now, a couple months ago when we decided that, okay, the bipartisan bill isn't going through without the reconciliation bill.
Right.
Only time we've really played politics.
Good move,
right?
too.
But it's like, it's a good move. I
Yeah.
do think it's, well, you know what? I want to say it's a good move because it would be a good move if it actually mattered to conservatives and moderate Democrats to get the bipartisan bill through to help people.
Yeah.
If they actually wanted to help people, it'd be a good move. It would actually be pressure. But
Yeah.
they don't give a shit.
So many Democrats are just in the pockets of corporations anyway.
Yeah.
And like they got their way by this bill dropping. And like who knows, all of this like contention we've had around the reconciliation bill, maybe it was just all manufactured by the Democratic Party to make it seem like maybe they were fighting for workers, but
Most
just had to
likely.
compromise.
Most
But you know,
likely.
at the end of the day, at the very least, the Pope said Biden's a good Catholic.
So true. So true.
At least the Pope said Biden, our president, is a good Catholic.
Exactly.
Thank the fucking Lord. Anyway, you want to talk about Elon Musk?
You know we got to talk about this musty ass motherfucker,
True.
right? Okay, so earlier this week, there was a billionaire tax that was
Yeah.
being talked about, right? Was. Keyword was. This was also very much cut.
Yes. No, that's why we didn't mention it. It's not in there.
Very much cut. And it would have affected those with a net worth of $1 billion and or they had an income of over 100 million a year for the past few years in a row.
Yeah.
Only those people. That's 700 people in America.
Yeah. Yep.
Crazy, right?
Yeah.
And the tax would only apply to tradable assets owned by those billionaires. And it would cost them a little bit over the current top capital gains rate, which would be roughly 23.8%.
Okay.
So all of the stocks that they hold in
Yeah.
asset form, like it's in their portfolio, they would have to pay a tax on.
Yeah.
It's functionally a wealth tax on stocks, what it would have been.
Yeah.
Pretty fucking cool, right?
Really good.
Really good. Like
Would-
that's the thing that I'm here for.
Generate a lot of revenue. Yeah.
That's what I like.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
Yeah.
I stand that.
We're here for that.
I mean, it's out. So,
But we're still talking about it.
but I would have really liked that
Mm-hmm.
because that's great.
Yeah, that is the official stance of head in the office. Is we endorsed that idea.
yes.
It has our formal endorsement.
Right? So this musty dude said on Twitter that once they run out of people's money, they'll come for yours.
If you're making more than 10 million.
This is what I was talking about earlier when I said that they're still trying to tell you that you're going to get taxed.
Yeah.
No, you're not.
No, you're
No,
not.
you're not.
Like, if you're making more than 10 million, sure. But like, no one under 10 million is getting taxed more.
How are they going to run out of money when this dude has infinite money?
No, yeah, that's true. He literally has infinite money. You can't run.
He could
We're not running out
most
of it.
likely take out a line of credit to pay that tax.
Yeah.
And then that line of credit is fine.
That'd be cool.
The only criticism, good faith criticism that I have seen from this is that if Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk wanted to just tank the economy, they could.
Yeah, but that is not an argument against taxing them.
That's an argument against capitalism
That-
and
yes,
the stock market in of
yes.
itself.
Yeah.
That the fact that these people own so much wealth in this corporation and that if they extracted that, it would crash the market.
Yeah.
That's a stain on the system.
Yes.
What else could that be? You're admitting. It's a self-report.
Yeah.
You're admitting that they have a gun to my head right now.
Yeah. That's like saying we shouldn't try to help the hostages because if we do, the person that is holding them hostage might kill them.
Yeah.
Like that's exactly what that is. So you're blaming the hostages still?
Literally,
Are you
dude.
crazy?
Talk about victim blaming.
Right,
Talk about
exactly.
victim blaming.
That is insane. Oh my goodness.
Then he said this also on Twitter. To pay off the national debt, every person in America would have to pay $244,000 to the government, which is a really fucking weird thing to say, and it doesn't mean anything because that's not how the fucking national debt works.
Yeah. Also, why would every single person pay that amount?
That's why it's so dumb.
That's like a flat tax, which is no, but it's not gonna happen.
No, literally, not only is that a flat tax, but that's not even why it's dumb. It's dumb because that's not how the fucking debt works.
Yeah.
Like, shit doesn't work like that. That's not a burden on the taxpayer like that. It's deficit hawk rhetoric just to the next level, to the most logical extreme.
Also, none of the reconciliation bill is even concerned with paying off the national debt.
no,
It was
it's not.
concerned with trying to break even, which I don't think is going to happen now.
Nobody's concerned with the fucking national debt.
Never. Not even the ones that claim to be concerned with the national
They're
debt.
the
are
least
concerned.
concerned with the national debt as it raises the most under them.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so fucking stupid, dude. He's just
Yeah.
misleading all the people that idolize this guy.
Yeah.
So many people say that he's the real life Tony Stark, and yeah, I would be inclined to agree. But the Tony Stark from before Iron Man 1,
Yeah, the one that was a piece of shit.
the one that was a dog shit person, a fucking shitter overall, a war profiteer, which Elon pretty much literally is.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like, he's a child abuser.
Uh-huh.
Like, not his own children, but many children, black and brown children overseas in the global south.
Yeah.
Like, what is this? What is this?
The dude straight up abuses other countries.
Facts.
And abuses workers in America. Maybe not to the same degree as he does poor people in other countries, especially in countries that are dominated by like
Yeah.
people of color. But this dude, he's awful. He's a horrible human being.
He didn't even get it out the mud.
No, he didn't.
He inherited an emerald mine.
An emerald mine that had children working in it, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, just like most of the rich people do in this country, they just inherit thousands or millions of dollars in business assets from their parents and then say that they got it out the mud because they worked hard and said that, well, you must not be working hard because I'm here and you're there.
Yeah.
Like, what the, like, are you, it's so dumb. It's mind numbing.
I fucking hate this guy. And then to top it all off, the worst tweet that he made
Yeah.
is he said that the billionaire tax will stop me from taking humanity to Mars.
Good.
Good. Like I said at the beginning, start at how you end it. It's a we're bringing it back full
Circle, baby. First looker, baby.
Let's focus on our material reality here on Earth and making it better for us here.
Yeah.
Rather than trying to focus on a fucking sci-fi dream.
We do, as a society, as a species, we do not deserve to go to space if it only happens because of Elon Musk. Or we don't deserve to get to Mars if it's because of Elon Musk. We don't deserve it.
This is on top of the fact that he's already stated he wants indentured servitude on Mars.
Oh, yeah, he wants slaves.
He said he'll take you for free, but you gotta work.
Yes.
The fuck?
Yeah, slavery.
Like, why do we let him say that?
How do you get away? You can't. There's nowhere for you to go.
Bro's gonna own Mars. Like, he'll functionally own Mars.
Like, colonize, yeah.
It's like his fucking Scientology, Mormon dream, bruh.
Mm-hmm.
It's like he's a Mormon and he's trying to live out the part where you get your own fucking planet.
Right.
But in real life.
Right, like, you will be a slave on Mars, except you can't run away to another state that has slave outlawed because you're on Mars.
Yeah, because it's all Mars, and Elon Musk is the god king of Mars.
Exactly. There's nowhere else for you to go. There's no enforcement agency that'll protect you. You can't have, like, a popular uprising because he probably has, like, a bomb that can just blow up your entire colony at his will.
Mars is about to be a fucking company planet.
Mm-hmm.
Like, y'all thought company towns were bad?
Yeah, just wait. Just wait until we colonize the entire solar system and nobody can do anything but be a slave to Elon Musk.
It's like all he does with his fucking rhetoric is just take advantage of a bunch of like high school age nerds.
Yeah.
I was fucking one of them. I used to think that the things he wanted to do were cool.
Yeah.
But like now I see, you peel back the layer, you see all the blatant fucking abuse that he does.
Yeah.
The fact that he has just a hideous amount of fucking wealth that he does not need. And then he grifts it like he's just a regular nerd.
Yeah, and he's just as much of like a fucking creature and a terrible human being as Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, or any of the other ones.
Yeah, like he literally sounds like a supervillain. This sounds like something Lex Luthor would say.
Oh no, yeah, they're all supervillains, but like real and worse, like significantly worse. Like Lex Luthor looks like a good person next to this guy
because they're hurting real people.
Yeah, exactly.
They're actually hurting real people. I fucking hate Musty.
I hate him too. I hate all of them.
All of them.
Because we're working class heroes at Head in the Office. we are pioneers of the new frontier, which is ending capitalism, not space, not Mars.
Not space, exactly.
We don't deserve to go to Mars if we have to rely on this piece of shit to do it.
Believe me when I tell you, I'm being absolutely beaten down by the system right now.
Yeah.
So.
And if you all want to support us freeing ourselves from the system,
exactly,
not being beaten out from the system. You can go and check out the Patreon, support us on YouTube, support us on TikTok. It'll all be in the description, show notes, however you're watching it. It'll be there. You can check it out. We'd really appreciate the support. And we appreciate you all for listening to this episode of Head in the Office.
Exactly. And, if you really want to support, you could join the ranks of these cool people. Cricket Scrapbook Layouts, Nikki Nine Lives, Caden Kraut, Terrence Nicholson, Chris the Postman, Luke Harris, Christy Beck, and Jeremy's mom.
And you know what? It's October 31st. That's my mom's birthday. So happy birthday to my mom. Happy birthday to my mom.
That's
from
crazy.
Head in the Office.
For real.
Thank you all for listening to this episode. We'll talk to you all next week.
Love you.